Soccer. More than half the Earth's population flocks to watch this sport every year, so it's no surprise when people travel to seek out a place in playing the game themselves.
So you're saying instead of playing Bobby, you're going to play...
Adbul Faisal Chibsah, assistant coach for the UD men's soccer team, is a native of Accra, Ghana, where he and his brother Yusuf grew up with a love for the game. However, getting a start in the sport in Ghana isn't quite the same as it is in the US.
For me, when I was growing up playing a game of soccer, I would have to be a ball boy for a club team to be able to get just a ball to kick. For us, it makes you more hungry and more determined because you have to pretty much work for everything, whether it's on the field, off the field. You have to grow up at a very young age. My first experience here was me coming to college. It did shape me up differently coming over here because I still have that Ghana in me, if I should say.
After high school, Chibsah came to the States and started college at Carson Newman in Tennessee before transferring to UD to play as a midfielder.
All I wanted was to have a taste of Division I because I was told it was the most competitive environment to be in, and it's been great, honestly. I had no clue where Delaware was to begin with, but it just sparked me right away that this is where I want to be.
Ian Hennessy, who has been head coach for 13 years, picked Chibsah as one of his first recruits in 2008. Chibsah graduated in 2011 with a degree in computer science, but a conversation with Ian stuck with him.
When I first met him, he told me he had a PhD in molecular biology, and the first question I asked him, why are you coaching soccer? The answer he gave to me was very simple. It's all about the passion. You do what you're passionate about and what you love. Throughout my journey here, I kept thinking about it, and I didn't think I was going to be a coach. I did get a job in the computer field when I graduated for a year. Right away, I realized that there was something missing, and that conversation came back to me again, and I realized this is where the passion is for me.
This led Chibsah back to his roots and love of soccer, enabling him to become the assistant coach at UD. Head coach Hennessy himself is a native of Cork, Ireland, the two coaches setting a trend of internationality. Of the 25 team members, 7 are from across seas, hailing from countries all over Europe like Germany, Spain, and France.
So that's the part I love about universities, is that diversity, that you can bring people of all shapes, sizes, creeds, colours, nationalities. I'm really drawn to that, and that's part of the reason why I'm in the game. I just see it as a plus when you have an exchange of ideas, whether they're soccer ideas or intellectual ideas in areas of sport or the classroom. I just think that's a real strength. If you look around the dressing room out here, you see names from all countries and all parts of the United States, and it's really not as difficult as some people seem in terms of meshing, because the language that they all speak really is the game itself.
I think it adds a lot of value, I would say. With international kids, they bring that hunger. They do bring a lot to the program. So they do say soccer is, we all speak the same language. The good thing about the game is the principles are always the same. And for us, when the kids come in, it's more of trying to, it's not so much of the soccer side, it's more of building the culture and trying to get the group to understand each other and work towards a specific goal, which I would say it's more of coaching, because you're coaching people. We're not really coaching soccer. Soccer is just a game, it's just a sport, but it's just the culture and the dynamics is where we come in as coaches and try and make sure we get 28 or 30 people with different backgrounds to come in and agree on one goal and work towards it.
With this prominent worldly view, an amazing program of giving to those less fortunate began.
Came out, I would say, by an accident. When I first came here in Delaware, one of the Christmas breaks, I was going back home, and Ian again simply said, well, if you have used stuff that you think we could take back home and change the kids' life, I was like, yes, let's give it a shot. So I started with a few cleats and equipment, took it back, and I did realize that it meant a lot to the kids. Some people never had one. They were playing bare feet and no balls to keep. So when I came back after that first trip, that's where it struck me that I could probably do more with this while I was here. It started small boxes. Every year I would take it, ship it on my own, send it back, and then before I knew it, it was grown to something big now that you're collecting 10 boxes every year, and I'm sending it back home. So I didn't think it was going to reach that far. I saw an opportunity for me to go back and change the lives of these kids, and it's really been a success since it started. So.
Soccer cleats aren't the only thing on Chibsah's radar, however. With his brother Yusuf, the Chibsah Foundation was founded to help villages access clean water back in Ghana.
So we've actually brought this used equipment collecting under the umbrella of the foundation. We have the Kick and Learn, which is the education one. What we are trying to do is go beyond just collecting equipment. So now we are expanding that project is to giving them the equipment, but also supporting them in areas where we can give them books, where they can study in school, uniforms. But then the message there is to make sure they stay in school rather than just drop out and focus on their sport and career. And we are living examples of that. Myself and my brother, who had a wonderful career with the national team in Ghana, but all through his journey, he was still studying his master's in school. We had a request from a lady who was saying, look, we've done a lot for my kid who came to Accra to play and study, but then asked if at all we could help in providing clean water back in the village where she lived. So we took a trip to the village and saw the conditions. We started our first borehole water project in a village called Tepasi. And what we did was we were able to put together this borehole water project, and then now they have clean water. In the past, most of the kids, usually the females, would have to wake up early in the morning and travel miles to go get clean water. With us going in there and creating this borehole water project for them, now they can go to school and not worried about getting up early in the morning to go fetch water and miles away.
Recently, the foundation is expanding to aid those who need help accessing healthcare as well.
The previous government in Ghana introduced a national health insurance scheme where you would have families register and pay a premium in a month, and that would give them some level of healthcare when they go to and they visit hospitals. Pretty much just the basic healthcare needs. But we had families that were still struggling to come up with that small premium. So then what we did was we would register them to and pay the premium for them. So that way they would have access to just the basic healthcare needs. They have the saying that it's absolutely impossible to do it back home, but we are trying to change that and let the kids understand that it is possible to do it.